Hello and welcome to the Cristo Rey Network College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. Each will have 6 minutes to share more about their institution, but will be around for the entire session to answer any questions. My name is Jenny, and I will be your facilitator. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. However, you can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the schedule on the website. This presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/Cristo-Rey. I'd now like to turn it over to our first presenter, St. Peter's University.
Hi, and welcome. We're so happy to have you here tonight. My name is Trish Peterson. I'm one of the counselors here at St. Peter's University, and I'd love to share a little bit about our university. St. Peter's is a small Jesuit Catholic university located in Jersey City, New Jersey. We are right across the river from New York. I always like to stop here and say that even though we're a Catholic university, we welcome people of all backgrounds. We are a very diverse university. So we certainly have over more than 50% that are not Catholic. So you're certainly welcome if you're not Catholic. And what does Jesuit mean? We are the only Jesuit university in New Jersey. And basically what I like to say is that a lot of times you'll come to a university to get a degree, but you're going to leave St. Peter's with so much, much more. We like to think that we're preparing you for all that life is going to bring you in the future. Some fast facts about St. Peter's. There's about 3,600 students on campus. That is both undergrad and grad students. It's about 2,500 undergrad. What does that mean for you? It's small. We have small class sizes, typically no more than 22 in a class. So there's a lot of individualized, personalized attention. Professors that really care and want to see that you succeed. It's a 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio. And our mantra, Cura Personalis, is really to take care of the person. That's what we like to do here at St. Peter's. We also have 94% job placement rate after graduation, which we're very proud of. I'll go into that a little bit more in a little bit, and a lot of things going on campus. As I said earlier, 12 minutes from New York City. That location is awesome as far as we can provide for our students internships, co-ops, experience outside of the classroom, just because that is right there in our backyard. We have over 50 majors. Some of our more popular ones are criminal justice, business, nursing, education, psychology. All of our majors can be minors, and we're always putting in new majors, looking at the world to see what is new and upcoming. So we just put in a new data science major, a health science major, exercise science major, all things that we think that our students can benefit from. You also see a lot of state-of-the-art technology around campus. Throughout all the majors, they benefit from this. We have over 70 plus student organizations, so it's not all about your, getting that education, yes, but having a good time here is important to us, and knowing that you're getting kind of a experience all around. Out of that 70 plus organizations, if we don't have what you like, you can always create your own. And there's always something going on campus to keep our students engaged. We have 16 NCAA Division I sports. You may have seen us last year on TV. We did make it to March Madness, and it was a very exciting time on campus. Brought our students together, and it'd be great to see that happen again this year. We do have dorms on campus. You can live on campus. This is just a typical freshman dorm. but as an upperclassman, we just built a brand new dorm. It's more of an apartment style suite. About half of our students commute, half live on campus, so you can't go wrong either way. We do have a lot of accommodations for our commuter students as well. Application process is starting now. We do a very holistic look at your application, looking at your GPA, your essay, your recommendations. We are an SAT optional school, and it is free to apply to us. This is our fees right now. I don't want this to scare you because we do offer a lot of scholarships. They start about $20,000 going up to full tuition, and about 98% of our students also get financial aid. So you don't know what your full tuition is going to be until all those factors come into play. We're on the Common App, and as I said, it's a free application, and I hope to be reading yours soon. But in the meantime, feel free to ask me questions, and then I'll pass it along. Have a great night.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And a great reminder to use that Q&A function at any time if you have any questions for our institutions here during the presentations. Up next, we have Colgate University.
Hello, welcome. So glad to be here with all of you tonight. And I am going to introduce you to Colgate University. I always like to start with this slide to give individuals a bit of an orientation to our location in upstate New York. This is actually pretty much what the campus looked like today. Gorgeous fall day on campus. But as you can see, we are in a rural location, and that plays a really important role in Colgate. We actually are a university by name, but we represent really the best of a research university and a liberal arts college rolled into one. We're going to offer students a little bit of both. We feel like a big school in terms of offering 56 different majors, having Division I athletics, 3,200 undergraduate students on our campus, and also over 250 clubs and activities. But you're also going to have this world-class academic experience at a very, very personal level. The average class size at Colgate is just 17 students. The student to faculty ratio is 9:1. We don't use any teaching assistants in our classes. And we really focus specifically on making sure our students are successful in their transition from their first year to their second year with a very, very strong advising system as well. You're going to find that our students come into the village of Hamilton, and the strength of our Colgate experience is based on our community. We focus very much on building community, and that starts with our residential campus. We guarantee housing for 4 years. Our dining plan is fully inclusive. It's the all-you-can-eat dining approach. And overall, we have about 95% of our students live on campus in Colgate housing. And we do guarantee that housing for 4 years. The type of community we build in our residential environment is really instrumental in not only building a happy student body, but also a famous, as we like to say, a famously loyal alumni group living around the world. We have over 35,000 Colgate alumni. And what you're going to find is that our students, while they're on campus, we are very much a home away from home. Our students are living on campus, taking advantage of all the opportunities. They spend time on campus. We have everything from Division I sports to really vibrant performing and visual arts to very, very active cultural and racial affinity and cultural affinity groups for students to take part in. As much as we build this outstanding community on campus, we also like our students to travel the world, which we're excited post-COVID we're starting to do again. Over 2/3 of all Colgate students take place in a semester-based off-campus study program, either in another domestic location in the United States or more commonly in an international location. And that's just one example of how we really try to bring experiential learning into the life of a Colgate student. We also focus very specifically on research opportunities. Over 80% of Colgate students have the opportunity to do one-on-one original work with Colgate faculty as part of their undergraduate experience. We also are going to focus very extensively on summer internships. We have a fall semester, a spring semester on campus, but we want to make sure you have those building blocks to be ready for life after college and after Colgate. In a traditional year, 99% of our students are in their first job in graduate school or professional school, pursuing national fellowships and scholarships, which a lot of our students do, within 9 months, 6 to 9 months of graduation. So our model works really, really well. And you're also going to notice that there's incredible funding for those experiences as well through our endowed summer funding program to portable financial aid for off-campus study programs. We want to make sure that every student coming into Colgate is going to have the opportunity to be a part of every learning, social, and residential experience on our campus. You see here that we do also have about a 90% graduation rate in 4 years. That's going to be something, again, we take a lot of pride in. And we have over 200 different formal recruiting partners to make sure our students are getting exposed, as I said, to those building blocks for their pre-professional and career development. And we do all of this in a very small town in upstate New York. The village of Hamilton, where we're located, has just over 4,000 residents. The village of Hamilton, Colgate University has about 3,200. So we nearly double in size when Colgate students are back in session. But what's great is over 50% of Colgate faculty live right within the village of Hamilton. So you see them not only in the classroom, but outside as well. And it's a pretty exciting time at Colgate. We turned 200 in 2019, so we're well into our 3rd century of education, and we're guided through that by our 3rd century plan. And I mention that because one of the greatest aspects of our 3rd century plan is the development and commitment of a financial aid initiative for access and affordability called the Colgate Commitment. And we actually, just last week, this slide is now outdated. Our financial aid Colgate Commitment is now no loan for families whose income is $170,000 a year or less. Our goal is to eliminate the cost of tuition for our most needy students. So we will be no loan for families in that income range under $175,000. And also in our announcement last week, it came out that we will also be covering the cost of textbooks for all of our students. We will continue to be test optional through this cycle, and we have both early decision and regular options. And as you can see, we're committed to access. Financial aid deadlines are at the point of application, and that's going to be a very important part of your application. We require the FAFSA and the CSS profile. I'll be sure to put my information in the chat, so if any of you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those individually. Thanks so much.
Thank you. A great reminder about that Q&A. I appreciate it. Up next, we have Fordham University.
Hi there, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight. My name is Mariah Asensio. I am a Senior Assistant Director of Admission at Fordham. I work with students from a variety of different territories, but specifically help in transitioning our first year students, high school students into their first year. So I'm here to talk a little bit about Fordham and what we have to offer. And I'm really excited to discuss some of the opportunities that exist here today. So many of you might have heard that we, or more so our tagline is the Jesuit University of New York. So similar to my colleagues at St. Peter's, we have a Jesuit mission in which we follow these core tenets, a core mission more so to educate the whole student. We really care for each student that enters through our doors through specific and very strong advising systems, through making sure that we're challenging our students to take different opportunities that exist. And again, to make sure that they're people for others. So this Jesuit mission does really hold true to a lot of the experiences that students are having. And so it's important that we share that this is a really big part of being at Fordham, is this Jesuit tradition and mission that we have with us. It's important to know that Fordham has 2 distinct campuses. So we have one residential campus in the Bronx called Rose Hill, and then we have another campus in Manhattan called Lincoln Center. These two distinct campuses really, in my opinion, is what makes Fordham very special and very unique to the student experience overall. Keeping in mind that the two campuses themselves really suit different types of students. And so if you are choosing to attend the Bronx campus, you are looking for something more traditional and experienced. This campus is about 80 acres, so very large in size. And as you can see on the left side here, very kind of green space, lots of Gothic architecture. I really love to describe this campus as charming. And so many of our students choose this specific campus because of this old school beauty that kind of exists there. And so then our Lincoln Center campus is a lot more urban. You can see here on the right side, a very kind of brief picture, but some tall high-rise buildings. As you can imagine, we are in the heart of New York City, so we're only a block away from Central Park. The Lincoln Center campus in Manhattan is very close to Lincoln Center for Performing Arts. We also have a very strong Alvin Ailey BFA, Bachelor of Fine Arts program as well, and a theater program for students who might be interested in that area. Being in the heart of the area in which the arts exist really gives students a unique opportunity to be exposed to so much. And so having these two distinct campuses really gives students an opportunity to be exposed to different curriculums, to different faculty, to different students. And so it's really important to know that having access to two places can really change your perspective, can change the experience that you have over time. It's also important to know that when you apply to Fordham, you will have to select a campus that is best suited for you as a student. Do you want something, again, more residential, or are you looking for something a bit more urban and kind of fast paced? So when you're choosing to apply, keep in mind that you'll have to select one of these two campuses to be your home base. Fordham is a absolute special place. It absolutely holds a special place in my heart. Working here for over 5 years now, it's been such a joy to be a part of watching the student body grow and continue to become more diverse. And so you'll see here we are just roughly around 9,000 undergraduates across both campuses. I will highlight here as well that we have 6,000 undergraduates at our Bronx campus, and then about 3,000 at our Lincoln Center campus. But you can see here that our students are coming from a variety of different states and lots of different countries. So it's important to us that we're bringing in lots of different backgrounds. At Fordham, you will have to choose a campus that we talked about earlier, and then also a college. So we have 3 distinct colleges in which students can choose from. We have 2 liberal arts schools, one based at each campus. And then we have a school of business that is stretched across both campuses in itself. Fordham is known for their business school. I would say it's one of the most popular choices in which students are choosing to come to Fordham for. And so you'll see here that we have, again, these 3 undergraduate colleges in which students will have an opportunity to choose from. We are very particular about getting students exposed to liberal arts curriculum, ensuring that you have a chance to explore different disciplines and make sure that you really feel passionate about what you choose to study. We encourage our students to challenge themselves. It really comes back to the Jesuit mission. And so we do that by encouraging students to try new things through the different disciplines, through the core curriculum that we have. And so with 70+ majors and minors, I am sure there is something for everyone to choose from anything kind of based in art history to computer science, engineering, physics, psychology, social work. Any of those type of more liberal arts programs will be housed in one of those 2 liberal arts schools that I mentioned earlier. We are also known to be a research university. And so a lot of our students are conducting their own research and are given grants to be conducting their own research with faculty or just on their own as well. More than 80% of our students are completing at least one internship before they graduate. And then our Gabelli School of Business students are completing at least 2 internships before they graduate. Keeping in mind that study abroad is also a huge part of the experience, it's really important to us that we, again, encourage students to try out new things. I will leave you all with this slide here. These are just some really awesome kind of highlights to Fordham at this point. I will highlight that we hired a new president, our first woman president, and I'm super excited about that. So if you take anything away, please take away these last kind of tidbits that we have here on this slide. But thank you again for your time and for being here, and I will stick around for the Q&A.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Up next, we have University of Rochester.
Hello, hi, good evening. I'm sharing my screen right here. My name is Katya, and I am the Assistant Director of Admissions for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Right now, zooming in from my mom's apartment in Manhattan. So if you hear a dog bark, that's why. But pleasure to meet you all. And through the recording, future ones, feel free to stay in contact. I'm here to talk about the University of Rochester, which, as you might imagine from our name, is in the city of Rochester. And so Rochester is in upstate New York. We're right across the lake, if you could swim that far, from Toronto, but driving around is just a few hours from there, about halfway between Buffalo and Syracuse, and about a 6-hour drive, a very easy flight from New York City. When you're on campus, it is a suburban feel, which can be really nice. Old buildings, modern buildings, state-of-the-art facilities. You can kind of see it from the view here. We're hugged on one side by the Genesee River, and down that path, just a couple miles away, is downtown Rochester and all the rich culture, restaurants, internships, businesses that the city of Rochester provides as the fourth largest city in New York State. And also, if you were to look here in the corner, we do have a medical center. So University of Rochester operates the largest hospital system in the region, and our pre-health students, they really take advantage of all the research opportunities, clinicals, other opportunities at our hospitals, including ones right within walking distance from undergrad campus. So I want to really start after that location by sharing our mission. So Meliora means ever better in Latin. Learn, discover, heal, create, and make the world ever better. So that's really key to how we think about our mission as a research institution, the small, medium school, a community of 5,600 undergrads, and what we're all doing together in a collaborative space. And we think about that pretty seriously in the application process too, and about how you're going to continue to make not just the Rochester community, your peers, your friends, but the world in the future ever better. One thing I want to highlight in this short intro is our Renaissance plan. So we don't have set gen eds, everyone does. You'll apply into your area of study and then you're accepted to the university. So you can change your major, you can do different programs, and you're really building your own curriculum in a way where everyone's going to graduate with a slightly different path. And the way that we do this without using a core curriculum is by, when you have your area of interest and then your major, for everyone except engineers, let's focus on the gold part for a second. You'll have your major, typically around 12 to 14 classes. And then we want you to take at least 3 classes in each of the other areas that your major is not in. So in this example, social sciences, economics, doing their classes there, did a few classes in stats, did a few more in Spanish, and they were able to exit with a really unique plan that fit maybe some of their career goals, interests. And so this is really good for students who want to be able to explore all sorts of clusters. Maybe it's something like Japanese 1, 2, and 3 in the humanities, or something a bit more interdisciplinary, like power and inequality, or climate change and sustainability. And so they're building that each way. And engineers, they tend to have a bit more classes in their major, 18 plus typically. So we only have them do at least one cluster to still explore while still having space within the curriculum before they graduate, to have the opportunity to double major, to have the opportunity to change their mind and change majors, and then still be able to graduate on time as their students do. Some quick facts just to exercise that point. I mean, we were talking about it, and 45% of our students graduate with double majors. So really very possible within our model. Student to faculty ratio 9:1, and really going to the heart again about all opportunities to engage with faculty while students there. 95% of students participate in internships. There's over 40 countries that we have study abroad partnerships with, and the majority of our students study abroad. And then to spend a little more time on something a bit more unique to us, there's 2 opportunities for after you graduate. One is called Take 5, which is a tuition-free semester or 5th year of study. So let's say you were a pre-health student, which by the way is one of our largest advising tracks, and you decided that you had actually also really wanted to study health policy, but you haven't, or you really wanted to study a foreign language to be able to utilize ASL maybe, and you had it. And so you could apply for the opportunity, creating a proposal to study something outside of your major or minor would come onto your transcript, not towards a new degree or anything, but towards your benefit of reaching ever better. And another opportunity that's also tuition-free, entrepreneurial, is E5, where you could get help from our AIM Center for Innovation to launch your product, idea, business, new solution by yourself or more commonly in a group. So about 10% of students choose one of these options to extend their time at Rochester after graduation. Also key to us, as many have kind of seen tonight, research really crucial. So coming up with new ideas. We are a Tier 1 research institute. And so our students, our faculty are contributing to new ideas. And so sometimes, yes, that's working in the lab, that's doing research in biomedical engineering, doing research in optics, one of our big programs. But it can also be in the field doing social science work. So it could be creating new art pieces, new publications. So our students really are involved in research. Very engaged in student life, about 300 plus clubs. Want to give you to end just a peek, because we're not on tour, though I hope you do. So picture yourself walking around, come visit, test optional, and ask us if you have any questions at all about considering Rochester. Take care.
Thank you so much. Great reminder to use that Q&A function if you do have questions for any of our schools here. Up next, we have Georgian University.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for your time this evening. Greetings from the great state of New Jersey and Georgian University. I'm going to go ahead and start to share my screen here. And here we go. So Georgian University is a small private Catholic institution founded by the Sisters of Mercy located in Lakewood, New Jersey. We are approximately an hour equidistant from Philadelphia and New York City. So I love to tell students that just as easy as they can head up to New York City and grab that New York slice of pizza, they can be just as quick down to Philadelphia to grab that Philadelphia cheesesteak. And in addition, we're also 10 miles from the Point Pleasant Beach Boardwalk and the Jersey Shore, which is the best of all worlds, in my opinion. We're a small campus, slightly over 2,000 students in total enrollment, about 1,600 total undergraduate students. This past fall class, we brought in 375 new students into the Georgian Court community.
Carlos, let's switch to presenter view.
Oh boy.
All right, looks good so far. Now it switched back. I'm not sure why. Well, either way, you're good. Keep going. There you go.
All righty. So as I mentioned, we were founded by the Sisters of Mercy, and in that vein, our core values are the 5 items that you see there on the right-hand side: respect, integrity, justice, compassion, and service. And the Mercy core values really drive the student experience at Georgian University, and we hold that in very high regard at the institution. From an academic standpoint, the school is split into 4 different schools: our School of Arts and Sciences, which has our programs in areas like art, dance, criminal justice, psychology, among others. Our School of Business and Digital Media, all of our business programs, which include programs such as marketing, digital comm, digital design, all part of that as well. Our School of Education is the foundation of the institution. We were founded as a teaching school, and so those are some of our most popular and most cornerstone programs. And the Hackensack Meridian Health School of Nursing and Wellness houses our programs in nursing, exercise science, social work, among others as well. Beyond the classroom is extremely important to the Georgian Court experience. Georgian University prides itself on educating the whole student. So not only what you're doing inside of the classroom, but outside of the classroom as well. And the items that you see here on this list are just but a couple of the opportunities that are available to our students from day one when they arrive as members of the community. 92% of our graduates do find employment within 6 months of graduation in their respective field of study. Guaranteed housing on our campus for all 4 years. The residence halls and the residential experience is a key part of our what we're calling Renew GCU, which is a master plan and a capital campaign that includes renovations to our residence halls, among other things. 4 residence halls on campus, guaranteed parking for all of our students on campus, and of course, like I mentioned, guaranteed housing for all 4 years for our students as well. We are an NCAA Division II athletic institution. You can see a list of our sports offerings right here. The newest one being our women's acrobatics and tumbling team. So we are currently in the midst. As a matter of fact, I met the new head coach for that particular sport today, ironically. So we're very excited about having that join our ranks for the upcoming fall. But you can see all of our other sports that are available at Georgian Court. Information regarding all of our financial aid efforts, from our merit-based scholarships, of course, need-based scholarships based on information that can be input on the FAFSA, and of course, outside scholarships being able to be brought in as well. Our tuition and fees, again, these are what we call, of course, the sticker prices. After you apply financial aid, your scholarships, all of those things, this price comes way down. But this is just to give a general idea of what you would be looking at from a tuition and fees, and then housing standpoint, should you be living on campus. Our merit scholarships are extremely transparent. You can find them on our website as well, but this is the hierarchy in terms of the scholarship structure on campus. Again, very straightforward. We are test optional, so we do not utilize any type of scoring, not only in review, but also as it relates to scholarships. The application process is really relatively simple. We are exclusive to the common application for our first-year applicants. Transfer applicants can complete the transfer common app or our institutional application. There is no application fee to apply to Georgian Court. As I mentioned, we are test optional. We are on a rolling admissions basis. The sooner you apply, the sooner you hear back from us. And we are reading applications as we speak. So for any of you that may be current seniors out there and looking at schools, we are accepting applications and turning them around within a 2 to 3 week time frame. Automatic scholarship consideration as well. There's no additional step to the process to be considered for scholarship. You'll be automatically considered for scholarships when you apply to Georgian Court. And finally, you can take a quick snapshot of this QR code. It'll bring you right to our information for open house, which is at the end of this month, next week on October the 29th. Thank you so much once again for your time, and hope to see you around at Georgian Court.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And there's still time to get those questions in the Q&A. Last but not least, we have Barnard College.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here this evening or for watching the recording. I'm a big fan of Cristo Rey schools, but my name is Danielle Schiestel. I use she, her pronouns, and I am part of the admissions team here at Barnard College in New York City. So some quick facts of what you need to know about Barnard, kind of who we are in a nutshell, what makes us unique and individual as a school. First and foremost, we are a liberal arts college. So this means that we have a little bit of everything. About 1/3 of our students are STEM majors. We're really well known for our arts programs, our social sciences. You really can't go wrong. Since we are a liberal arts college, we actually have you apply to the college as a whole instead of a specific major. So you're going to spend your first about 1.5 years at Barnard taking some more general classes, exploring different disciplines. And then during your sophomore year is when you'll declare your major. About a third of our students do a double major, have a major and a minor. So that's something to consider. We are also a women's college. So Barnard was founded when women did not have access to an Ivy League education. And we said, that's not right. We want a seat at the table. We deserve to have this caliber of an education as well. And lo and behold, Barnard was founded. So we really do take that strong sense of identity and empowerment into account when it comes to all aspects of Barnard, whether that's we have always had a woman president, over 60% of our faculty are female identifying. You'll bring up the complexities of gender in your classes, regardless of if you are a women's studies major or a neuroscience major. It's going to come up. There are a lot of different aspects of identity that our students are interested in exploring, and that's part of what really draws them to Barnard. We also have this unique partnership with Columbia University. So you have Barnard's campus, and then right across the street, you have Columbia. So we are in New York City. We are on the island of Manhattan. We are north of Central Park in the Morningside Heights neighborhood. So you have access to both schools. You kind of get the best of all worlds, where you have this small, tight-knit, liberal arts, only undergraduate women's college, and across the street you have this large co-ed research university, and you have access to both. So the majority of our undergraduate classes are open to students on both campuses, and same with the undergraduate courses that are available at Columbia. We do share our NCAA Division I athletics with Columbia. So we're actually the only women's college to have D1 athletics. So that's always my fun fact for students. We share a lot of our facilities, so you can utilize any of the Barnard or Columbia dining halls, athletic facilities, libraries, things of that nature. So you're able to take advantage of that partnership as much or as little as you would like. And then again, just being in New York City, we really do identify strongly with our neighborhood of Morningside Heights. Part of our liberal arts foundation curriculum is thinking locally. So thinking about how you're showing up in your local spaces. What is Barnard's connection to our neighborhood, and how can you get involved in our neighborhood? And so that's a really big part of our identity, as well as just using New York City as our classroom. So our professors really do view the city as an extension of their classroom. You might have a class where you go to Central Park or you go to the Met. So being able to take advantage of all of those different things is very unique to going to college in New York. This is just a snapshot really quick. I know that that's a lot of information on one slide. These are all online, but as you can see, we have a number of different majors and departments across various disciplines. So we really do have a little bit of everything. I always like to highlight, we are one of the few schools that has an undergraduate architecture program. So that's pretty cool. And then some of our really strong programs, our dance program is pretty well known. We have a lot of interest in political science. And then our biological sciences program often gets a lot of interest as well, but you really can't go wrong. So how do you apply to Barnard? We accept 2 different applications. We are on the Common App, and then we also are a QuestBridge school. So if you are a QuestBridge Mapped Scholar, you can apply to Barnard through QuestBridge. Otherwise, you're going to apply via the Common App. We have 2 different supplemental questions that are required and 2 that are optional. So that is something to note, that in addition to the Common App, you do submit a supplement. And those are some short answer questions that really get into why you're a good fit for Barnard and why Barnard's a good fit for you. We take into account your high school transcript, your secondary school report, which is something that your school sends to us so that we know what classes are offered, what opportunities are offered at your school. We are test optional. Last year, about half of our class of our admitted students applied with test scores. So it really has been about half and half. We will remain test optional for the next 2 years, and then we'll reevaluate. We have 2 letters of recommendation from teachers, 1 from a counselor, and a supplementary portfolio. So 2 different application deadlines. We are an early decision school, so that's binding, that's your bold. I know I want to go to Barnard. It's my #1 school. If I'm accepted, I'm committing to go. And then we have regular decision, which is non-binding. You still have till that May 1 deadline to make your enrollment decision. And as you can see, I know I'm at about time, but you have some quick facts about last year's admitted class. About half of our class that we admitted an early decision. 60% of our admitted students self-identified as domestic students of color, 9% identified as international students. And then lastly, just briefly touching on financial aid, we are need blind. So when you apply, I don't have access to your financial aid information. That's a completely separate office. So you do have to apply for financial aid. And for US citizens and permanent residents, we do meet 100% of demonstrated financial need. But that is Barnard in a nutshell. And I really hope that you will get in contact with us if you have more questions. And again, I will also be around for the Q&A.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. And we do have time for a question, so I'll ask everyone to come back on the screen now, and we have some time for some Q&A. So our question for the evening is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And we'll go in the same order, starting with St. Peter's.
Yeah, so the big thing that I always say to students is we are here for you. So you can go on any college of your dreams and find who your counselor is for your area. And we're here to answer your questions. So feel free to reach out, email us, text us, call us so that we can get all your questions answered and make this process a little bit more easy for you.
I think for many students, the cost of education can be really intimidating, but I think hopefully through the presentations this evening, whether it be colleges that meet 100% of need or merit-based options that are available, we're all striving to make higher education affordable. So work with us, know that we may have some price tags that are a little intimidating, but financial aid policies are really here to support the students. And my real tip for you is to start the financial aid forms early. When things are difficult, you tend to drag your feet. We're all guilty of that. But this is something you really, really need to start, because we can't give you financial aid if your aid forms are incomplete. So forms are open. October 1 is hit. So that's my tip for you. Get started on that and have fun and reach out to us with any questions.
I think my practical tip or advice would be to please open the emails that we all send you. We know that we can send so many emails, but most of the time it's for good cause, especially for Fordham. We are trying to inform you of anything that you might be missing or things that we still are waiting to hear from you about. And I'm sure that many of my colleagues here would agree that the emails that we send have purpose. And so we want you to be able to keep up on your application and make sure that everything you are submitting is submitted on time. And we try to give students some leeway and paying attention to these deadlines. And so the emails we send are meaningful. So please open them. I think my less practical would be to just really be open in this process. As mentioned earlier, there are a lot of great schools here tonight to talk to you about their processes, their academic offerings, and there's so much to share. And so I think just be really open to what you're learning and continue to research schools that you've never heard of before, because I think there's some real value in that as well.
Ditto on all these great points. So to try and say something different, financial aid would be my big thing, is that I think it's important at this stage to really go for those colleges that you're excited about. Add them to your list. If you feel like you need to keep additional options, then have a slightly longer list. I know it can get a lot to work through those supplements. We understand and get through the pieces, but you've got this, and you have your support system, including us. And as application fees are a concern as you start applying to more schools, just use those waivers from our different forms, or ask if you're not sure how to access that, and keep your options open. And then in the meantime, continue to explore, so that right now you don't have to make your final decisions unless you're so excited that you're going early decision somewhere. So thanks.
I'm glad that my point wasn't taken going towards the end. My practical recommendation, suggestion, advice to any student looking at college is to visit. The colleges and universities that you're considering will look very different in a PowerPoint, in print material, and all the great stuff that you see on social media. And there is nothing that substitutes for the experience of stepping onto a college campus. So as you develop that list of the schools that you're interested in for any number of reasons, make sure that you make it a priority, if you will, to visit those schools, obviously within reason, and based on what you can do. But it is extremely important. I think back to my undergraduate college search, and I chose my school because I stepped foot on campus and I knew that's where I wanted to be. And I would say 9 out of 10 students that I work with will say the same thing as well. So it's very important to visit, and visit multiple times throughout your search.
Last but not least, I always tell students, think about fit beyond academics. So yes, you are going to college to get your undergraduate degree, to get your bachelor's degree. That's very important. But this is going to be a place that you spend multiple years. So what do you need to feel comfortable at a school, or to be challenged by a school? Maybe what support services do you want in a college? What groups are you looking for? Do you see yourself reflected in the community already? Do you see yourself reflected in the faculty and staff? So thinking beyond just the name and, oh, that's a really good school, they have really strong academics, they have my major, XYZ, but really making sure that it's a place that's going to allow you to thrive and support you in any and all identities that you may hold.
All fantastic advice. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining us today and sharing more about your schools. And thank you, participants, for joining us. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. So we'd appreciate any feedback that you can provide. We encourage you to check back to the session and the schedule and sign up for more sessions. You'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other session recordings at strivescan.com/Cristo-Rey. Thank you. Have a great evening and best of luck on your college search process.